Good morning, everybody. This is Thelma. Today I'm going to be talking about the secret of loving and being loved. Everyone wants to be loved. We all want to love. We all want to be loved and we all deserve to be loved. However, one of the biggest things that prevents us from being able to love unconditionally ourselves and other people is value judging. Whenever we judge ourselves or we judge other people based on certain values, when you categorize somebody as being either good or bad or right or wrong, you're placing value judgment on that person. And usually that is a reflection of how we value judge ourselves. And so in reality, everybody is operating at a certain level of awareness, which means that sometimes when we make bad decisions or when we make good decisions, it's not necessarily that we are bad. It's that based on our level of awareness at that particular point in time, we are making a decision that may be a bad decision. So ideally, I would like to think that it makes more sense for us to look at a person's behavior more from the context of, is it wise or unwise? Because regardless of whatever decisions you make, every decision we make carries consequences or rewards, depending on what kind of behavior it is. And so when we get to a point where we can honestly look at a situation or look at ourselves and not judge ourselves based on our particular values or the values that society has placed on us, when we get to a place where we stop judging ourselves based on, external expectations, then we can begin to we can then easily look at ourselves when we make decisions and ask ourselves the question, is this a wise decision or an unwise decision? Because now you're thinking from the context of the consequence of that decision. And when you begin to look at life from that dimension, it becomes more easier to accept yourself for who you are, because you understand that you are only operating at your level of awareness at that particular point in time, which your level of awareness can change over a period of time, depending on whether you're willing to learn and grow. Likewise for other people, other people behave, take actions, think and act basically based on their level of awareness. And so if you are around people who you feel like are not doing things the way you want them to do it, or you're not satisfied with how they live their lives or who they are as individuals, the problem is not with that person. The problem then becomes with you, because again, you're judging that person based on preset values that you're also probably imposing upon yourself. It's that psychology of being made to feel guilty because you're not in conformity with what is either being thrust upon you by society, or you're feeling guilty by values that you have set upon yourself. And while having values is a good thing to have, because that sets the standard for your level of morality and whatnot, at the same time, you have to get to a place of personal acceptance. You have to get to a place where you understand that you're operating at the level that you're operating right now based on your level of awareness. And so in order for you to move from that level, to make the necessary change, you have to move from that level of awareness. So an example would be if somebody is, overweight and trying to lose weight, for example, and you're compelling them to go through a diet. If that person has not addressed the reason for their compulsive eating, right? There's no way that dieting program can become successful, because they are still operating on a certain level of awareness of where they're at. They're thinking about the fact that they want to reduce the amount of food they eat or change the diet of what they eat, but they haven't addressed their level of awareness of whatever conditions is compelling them to always want to eat, which very often is stress, lack of self-worth. It could be so many different things that is compelling them to want to eat, all the time. So the problem is not just with the food you're eating. The problem is their level of awareness of where they are at that particular point in time, their level of self-acceptance, you know. And so if we ever want to get to a point where we can love other people unconditionally and be loved, then we have to first of all get to a place where we accept ourselves the way we are, based on our current level of awareness. And if you look at your current situation and you ask yourself, am I happy with my current situation the way it is? Am I happy with the way I'm living my life? Am I happy? Am I okay with the decisions that I make? Am I okay with the habits that I have? If your answer to those questions are no, then you want to address the situation, the reason behind doing those things, not from a judgmental standpoint, not from a feeling of guilt, but from an acceptance level where you have identified that, okay, the decisions you're making at this moment, the habits that you have at this moment are unwise because they have certain consequences that you will not be happy with. And then you can now begin to think about what habits or what decisions you can replace the current decisions with, so that you can have a different outcome in life. And then you can be more accepting of yourself. You can be, more loving about yourself. And when you are able to love yourself, then you can love others. You can then transfer that same principle into your relationship with others. And that will make you an even more attractive person for people to want to deal with. People will more likely want to deal with you when they feel less judged or less guilty or less when they feel more accepted around you. Think about it for a second. The people that you most surround yourself with currently are people who accept you the way you are. Your friends, your close family members, the people that you're constantly in relationships with, the people that you constantly surround yourself with, your supporters, your mentor, the people that believe in you are the people you most often will surround yourself with. That is because you are attracted to them because of the fact that they do not necessarily prejudge you and relate with you based on their prejudgments. So that's the kind of person that you want to become to yourself before you can be that person to other people. And that, to me, is the ultimate secret of loving and being loved. Once you can love yourself unconditionally without value judging yourself, then it becomes easier for you to love other people unconditionally without value judging them, without loving them because they did this, because they are that, because they can do this. You will begin to, accept people just because they are who they are. And then you can begin to love, yourself. You can love yourself and then love people unconditionally. I hope this is helpful to somebody out there. As always, thank you for listening to my blog. I look forward to hearing comments from you. I really would like to know what other people think about this concept. And of course, share this video with family and friends if you feel that it will be helpful to anybody. Love yourself, love others, and I love you. You have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.